Why has the modern world spent an entire millennium reciting a fabricated version of how a nomadic empire truly collapsed? Look closely at these endless, silent steps, where ancient geological wounds still refuse to heal beneath the heavy dust. History claims that Mongol horses conquered the ancient world solely through iron stirrups, ruthless bows, and brilliant military strategy. But, buried deep within the dark prehistoric strata, lies a terrifying anomaly that conventional archaeology completely refuses to acknowledge. Therefore, we are forced to ask what unseen, colossal force was truly guiding the terrifying wrath of Genghis Khan. The official chronicles were intentionally burned, leaving behind an ominous silence that has guarded these desolate landscapes for centuries. Until today, as we peel back the layers of earth to uncover the first dark seal of Karakorum. Deep within a sealed granite cavern, a heavy, decayed black bronze disc rests undisturbed amidst the ancient sediment. This massive artifact is covered in microscopic, impossibly precise, concentric celestial engravings that defy 13th century metallurgical capabilities. Laboratory tests on this metallic alloy revealed a high concentration of titanium, a material completely unknown to medieval smiths. Science remains entirely powerless to explain how nomads could forge a substance requiring thousands of degrees of controlled heat. Worse still, radiocarbon dating of the surrounding organic strata yielded two contradictory, logically impossible temporal timelines. It is as if this object existed outside of our linear time, bleeding an ancient power into the soil. The entire excavation site was abruptly sealed by international authorities, permanently deleting the geographical coordinates from public records. Did the Great Khan discover a remnant of a prehistoric civilization possessing cosmic astronomical knowledge far beyond our own? The answer does not lie in written manuscripts, but within the geometric alignment of towering monoliths forgotten by modern historians. Moving away from ruined cities, we enter the vast crescent of the deep Orkhon Valley earth fissures. Here, a massive network of ancient subterranean stone structures stretches out in perfect concentric rings underneath the soil. The raw scale of this underground geometry spans for miles, deeply embedded into the virgin, untouched mountain ridges. But the true nightmare for modern physics begins when we analyze the natural magnetic orientation of these stones. Every single block of basalt within this colossal grid displays a completely reversed magnetic polarity compared to the planet. Such a massive, widespread inversion cannot occur naturally within ordinary basalt formations without a powerful external force. Geologists remain entirely silent, unable to explain how 13th century builders manipulated the fundamental forces of the earth. Ancient regional myths whispered that this inverted grid was constructed to suppress an ominous, subterranean tectonic vibration. A vibration that supposedly intensified whenever the shadow of the Mongol armies moved across the Eurasian continent. As the evening sun strikes these massive ridges, the strange geometric outlines become terrifyingly visible from above. Was this entire valley designed as a macro-scale geometric engine rather than a primitive military fortification? The second dark seal leads us further north, toward the absolute silence of the forbidden sanctuary of Burkhan Khaldun. This sacred mountain range is permanently shrouded in heavy gray fog, completely isolated from any human encroachment. Beneath its colossal granite cliffs, acoustic mapping has detected a periodic, low-frequency sonar pulsation emanating from the deep strata. This internal rhythm does not mirror any known geological seismic behavior, throbbing instead like a massive mechanical heart. Every attempt to pinpoint the exact epicenter of this signal results in immediate, total failure of investigative tools. The sound seems to shift dynamically through the bedrock, intentionally evading the static sensors placed above it. Ancient regional accounts warned that breaking the silence of this forbidden sanctuary would trigger a catastrophic global event. Could this eternal vibration be an ancient frequency engine built to arrest the structural decay of material reality? Leaving the frozen peaks, the third dark seal manifests within the bone-dry salt flats of the southern Gobi. Here, deep under shifting sand dunes, lies a colossal field of perfectly aligned, dark, iron-rich meteorite fragments. These dense cosmic stones are arranged in immense, sweeping spirals that precisely trace the spiral arms of our galaxy. The sheer scale of this desert layout remains entirely invisible until the setting sun hits a specific orbital angle. Historical records indicate that early Mongol shamans performed complex, silent rituals directly upon these highly magnetic hotspots. They believed these cosmic rocks were active gateways through which a faceless celestial entity whispered forbidden strategic knowledge. Yet, modern planetary scientists cannot explain how medieval nomads calculated complex galactic trajectories without advanced optical instruments. Every single piece of space debris within this massive grid exhibits zero chemical weathering, despite thousands of years of exposure. It is as if the local atmospheric oxidation was completely suspended around these specific coordinates by an unknown force. This brings us to the fourth dark seal, frozen deep within the sub-zero sediment strata of Lake Kovsgol. Locked deep within these dark, ancient ice cores lies a dense layer of natural crystalline quartz possessing unique properties. When exposed to the soft winter sun, these submerged quartz strata emit a faint, natural bioluminescent light frequency. Spectroscopic measurements indicate that this internal light pattern contains complex, repetitive data strands running through the crystal lattice. It is as if this pristine lakebed was intentionally utilized as a macro-scale data storage drive before recorded human history. The sheer volume of encrypted electromagnetic information embedded within the frozen grid completely paralyzes current data analysis methods. Historians note that medieval Mongol elite forces fiercely guarded this specific body of water with extreme, fatal force. Every single unauthorized approach to the lake during the 13th century was met with immediate, unyielding execution. What forbidden planetary or cosmic truth was so terrifying that it required an entire elite army to enforce total silence? Moving westward, the fifth dark seal emerges along the treacherous limestone cliffs of the rugged Khentii mountain range. Hidden entirely from view are vast, dark cave interiors, hollowed out with absolute, flawless geometric precision. The sheer interior volume of these deep caverns functions as an immense acoustic chamber designed for low-frequency sound amplification. Every smooth stone wall within this subterranean network is carved to perfectly focus and reflect infrasonic vocal vibrations. Neurological experts remain completely baffled by the precise mathematical proportions used to construct these ancient echo chambers. These specific low-frequency sounds possess the natural capacity to immediately alter human brainwave patterns into an intense trance state. Did early conquerors use these hidden mountain resonators to synchronize collective consciousness before launching their global campaigns? The acoustic resonance within these limestone caverns does not dissipate naturally, remaining trapped as a perpetual internal hum. Every scientific attempt to record the exact wave frequency results in immediate acoustic saturation and equipment distortion. The physical stone walls appear to have been intentionally altered to act as a permanent biological amplifier. Ancient structural records hidden in regional myths indicate that these vaults were used to focus mass consciousness. This massive synchronization allowed early leaders to project a singular, terrifying psychological compliance across vast physical distances. Leaving the resonant peaks, the sixth dark seal manifests within the deepest, unexposed sediment of the Gobi Desert. Deep beneath shifting sand dunes lies a massive layer of entirely vitrified sand that turned into dark natural glass. This immense sheet of black geological crystal stretches for miles, completely sealed from the modern atmospheric elements. Geological analysis of this crystal structure reveals that the sand was exposed to thousands of degrees of flash heat. Such a monumental thermal event cannot be caused by standard medieval warfare or natural forest fires within the arid basin. Yet, conventional historical narratives remain entirely silent on what weapon could produce this widespread atomic-level fusion. Worse still, the molecular structure of the glass contains microscopic bubbles holding a completely unknown atmospheric gas composition. This ancient gas mixture exhibits a dense isotopic ratio that does not match our current planetary atmosphere. It is as if a pocket of prehistoric or extraterrestrial environment was permanently weaponized on this desolate soil. The seventh dark seal leads us further into the absolute isolation of the northern Mongolian permafrost zones. Locked beneath these immense frozen valleys, the eighth dark seal reveals a massive layer of prehistoric soil that remains entirely unfrozen. Geothermal thermal readings indicate that this specific subterranean layer emits a constant, unexplained heat signature despite sub-zero surface temperatures. Every scientific thermal scanner deployed across this frozen anomaly registers a continuous, localized molecular agitation within the dark earth. The sheer scale of this underground thermal emission blankets an area of several square miles along the mountain routes. Conventional ice core researchers remain utterly baffled, as there are zero active volcanic fault lines located within this region. Furthermore, laboratory analysis of the soil particles confirms a complete absence of any artificial or natural radioactive isotopes. Yet the ground continues to radiate a steady warmth, completely altering the crystallization structure of the surrounding permafrost walls. Ancient nomadic folklore deeply feared this place, calling it the sleeping womb of a colossal sky-born weapon of fire. A weapon that early emperors allegedly used to manipulate local weather patterns during long, freezing winter military campaigns. As the harsh northern wind sweeps the valley, the visible contrast between melting snow and black earth becomes ominous. This brings us directly to the ninth and final dark seal, hidden inside the ruined foundations of Karakoram. Buried deep within a collapsed stone vault lie the charred fragments of the forbidden imperial annals of the Yuan. These heavily decayed parchment pieces are covered in unique glyphs describing a faceless entity called the Great Black Sunday. According to the half-burned texts, this terrifying cosmic force manifested inside the main imperial tent before every major invasion. It did not speak with words, but projected a heavy, crushing psychological pressure that immediately paralyzed all human will. The ancient scribes who dared to record this crushing presence vanished from imperial annals without leaving a single trace behind. Every page describing the true physical appearance of the Great Black Sun was systematically ripped out and thoroughly burned. Only a few heavily damaged sheepskin parchment fragments survived the intentional purge, guarded by the deep desert sands. conventional linguists remain completely unable to decipher the final geometric glyphs carved into these remaining charred borders. It is as if the characters were designed to bypass rational human language and transmit a direct frequency. Leaving the ashes of Karakoram, we turn back toward the vast, empty expanses of the northern plateaus. Here, deep within a completely isolated mountain pass, lies an immense field of shattered obsidian stone fragments. These dark volcanic glass shards are scattered across several square miles in a highly unnatural, uniform distribution. Geological survey mapping shows that the entire field forms a gigantic, precise crescent shape when viewed from above. The physical placement of these dense volcanic stones aligns perfectly with the seasonal solstices of the northern hemisphere. Yet there are absolutely no active or extinct volcanic systems within a 500-mile radius of this valley. How did thousands of tons of heavy obsidian material arrive in this remote location without massive mechanical transportation? Every single stone face exhibits perfectly smooth, micro-polished facets that reflect natural daylight like a pristine glass mirror. The lack of ordinary environmental erosion on these sharp glass edges defies centuries of harsh, freezing winters. This deep geological anomaly forces us to look closer at the true age of these forgotten steppes. What if the terrifying speed of the 13th century conquests was entirely accelerated by an underground geopolitical grid? Let us systematically re-examine the immense limestone foundations eroding slowly along the remote Orkhon riverbanks. Beneath these colossal dry clay layers, distinct patterns of mineralized, dark thermal fractures stretch for miles. These unique structural fissures run in perfect parallel lines, defying standard random seismic cracking behavior entirely. Every analytical measurement of these deep mineralized veins confirms they were subjected to ancient localized electromagnetic stress. Conventional academic historians remain completely silent, completely unable to explain this hidden, macro-scale engineering footprint. The physical evidence strongly suggests that this entire valley was subjected to massive energy discharges long ago. A prolonged thermal discharge that permanently vitrified the deep stone matrix, transforming ordinary rock into dense glass. Early secret manuscripts whispered that the Great Khan chose this specific valley due to these strange properties. An invisible power source that allegedly amplified collective human aggression and removed the natural biological need for rest. As the burning midday sun hits the deep canyon walls, these fused mineral bands glisten with an ominous intensity. This realization immediately redirects our focus toward the ultimate enigma buried within the sacred Khenti Forbidden Sanctuary. Deep under the massive granite roots of the mountain range lies an immense, sealed subterranean lake chamber. The sheer interior volume of this hidden reservoir holds a dense fluid containing highly concentrated heavy elements. This pristine liquid layer exhibits zero chemical evaporation despite centuries of direct contact with underground thermal heat. This dense chemical composition resists natural evaporation entirely, maintaining a perfectly stagnant fluid level for hundreds of years. Every scientific probe sent to analyze this dark liquid encounters immediate structural corrosion and sudden telemetry blackouts. The unique, heavy elemental signature does not match any known geological thermal spring water on Earth. Ancient structural records hidden in regional myths indicate that this chamber serves as a macro-scale cooling system. A cooling system designed to absorb massive heat generated by the deep tectonic energy grids beneath the steppe. Leaving the deep reservoir, we move eastward, where the ninth dark seal reveals its physical evidence. Deep inside a collapsed stone foundation, a series of colossal granite steps lead straight down into solid bedrock. This monumental staircase extends down for hundreds of feet, completely choked by centuries of fine mineral dust. The sheer scale of this subterranean masonry defies the conventional primitive building tools of medieval nomadic cultures. Every single block of granite is cut with absolute, flawless geometric symmetry that perfectly limits environmental erosion. Analytical measurements of the stone joints reveal zero mortar, relying entirely on microscopic friction and perfect weight distribution. Conventional engineering experts remain entirely mute, unable to explain how thousands of tons of rock were positioned. As the low evening sun strikes the entrance, the vertical shadows reveal massive geometric lines carved inside. Did the early Khans use this immense underground network to move military assets unseen across regional borders? Or was this complex built by a prehistoric culture, possessing massive architectural capabilities long before recorded history? The absolute structural silence surrounding these deepest granite chambers suggests a monumental purpose completely hidden from modern history books. Every single available historical chronicle was deliberately scrubbed of references to what lay beneath this specific geographic location. We are left with nothing but massive, silent geological anomalies that continuously challenge our standard linear timelines. The true architects of this epic empire carried their darkest cosmic alignments directly into the quiet, heavy soil. This documentary is for educational purposes only, based on real sources. Theories are not facts.